What's going on, my Fro Force? You're chilling with Trainer Z, and we are here today for our final EXPNU battle of the season versus Anima, head coach of the Black Raltz. I don't know why, I don't feel comfortable saying that. I mean, wouldn't it be like Black City Raltz or Black Forest Raltz? I mean, is it implied like Black Forest or Black City or something like that? Either way. Looking at our teams, since, I do want to warn you guys that since I am doing post-narration on this, or post-commentary, however you want to say it. Since I'm doing this in post, the team analysis is going to be a little bit longer, so, yeah, if you want to skip ahead, I'll put a little, timestamp on where to skip to right now. So, anyway, just to explain my team here real quick. I've got a Swords Dance Gallade, and it may seem counterproductive since she did just draft a Quagsire right before facing me, and I pretty much knew she was going to bring it. However, I put special defense investment into my Gallade to the point where it can make subs not get broken by Scald, and I can just go for Drain Punch and get my HP back. So I really have nothing to fear from that Quagsire, and I can actually set up on it to like +6 with Swords Dance without it even having to be a threat to me. And eventually, it'll just run out of recovers because I can keep going for Drain Punch, Knock Off. I have plenty of ways to do damage. It's just not going to be able to recover as quickly as I can do it. I've got a physically defensive Zapdos to take care of physically offensive Durant, which she did bring. I should probably tell you guys that Animus. I'm not going to go over Animus' team right now. I will later in the analysis, but she brought pretty much everything I expected her to bring. The only question was the Florges, if she was going to bring the Florges or a Gligar, or if she was going to bring a Heliolisk. And for my draft this week, I actually drafted Evire, which she dropped as a fake out, so maybe she wouldn't bring Heliolisk, and I could get a bit of an easier battle, which it might have worked. I have no idea if she decided not to bring Heliolisk because of this. I mean, her team was made by her assistant coaches, but still, hopefully that had something to do with it. I have a specially defensive Registeel, and with especially offensive moves, no Iron Head, no Seismic Toss, nothing like that. Just Stealth Rock, T-Wave, Hidden Power Ground, so that way and Special Attack Investment, so that way I can break a Substitute from a Durant just in case, because I know she has been known to run Durant with Substitute. And finally, Flash Cannon for Stab. A very, very special Cofagrigus, which was designed to lock down Stall. It's got Toxic Spikes, Toxic, and you may be thinking, well, what's the point if she's just going to bring Mirror Bounce with that Mega Sableye? Here's the point. It also has Snatch, which goes through Magic Bounce, so I will snatch any kind of recover move she tries to do, and I have Skill Swap, so that way I can swap Mummy for her Magic Bounce and be able to set up my Toxic Spikes, and she won't be able to do anything. My ideal strategy here was, I send in my Cofagrigus, go for Skill Swap as she goes for Will-O-Wisp, and she ends up burning herself. Now, obviously I would have preferred her to get Toxic, but either way, that would have been a perfect turn for me. It is full-on specially defensive, so that way I can take on Florges, but the physical defense really doesn't matter, because the worst that I've seen from her is her Durant, which I have Zapdos specifically for, or like Foul Play on Sableye, and I made sure I have like 0 attack IVs on this Cofagrigus, so Foul Play is going to do nothing. Next, I've got my last two Pokemon are Wall Breakers. I've got my Adamant, Life Orb, Braviary with Defiant, in case she did bring her Gligar, so that way I can get a +2. And with this set, I can actually go for Brave Bird and then return and knock out a Quagsire without Stealth Rocks, and even with its Lefty's recovery. It's a guaranteed 2-hit combo. And finally, I've got a Sunny Day Life Orb Typhlosion with Fire Blast, Solar Beam, and Earthquake for Heatran in case she wants to try and switch it in on it. Now, looking at her team, it's just full on stall. There's no reason for me to predict any kind of tricky offensiveness here. Heatran, probably just standard Heatran, Lava Plume, Stealth Rocks, Toxic, Durant, I'm expecting to be offensive, although I know she has run tricky sets on it before, such as Substitute, Endeavor, so I've made sure to include threats against that. She's got Alomomola, physically defensive, which God, I'm just predicting like knockoff, Scald, Shenanigans, Protect, Wish. She's got her Florges, which there's no question that thing is definitely going to be her Cleric. Physically defensive, Quagsire, most likely. And Sableye, I'm thinking is physically defensive, most likely just for like Calm Mind setup, but who knows, it could be specially defensive. There's just no way to know until you find out the set it's running. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and get to the battle. I gotta say, thanks to Good Guy Ghastly, Duncan Knee Deep, and Bice Productions, and there's the Metafactor. My head coach, or my assistant coach, was out for the week, so he couldn't help me with my mock battle and stuff, but I just talked to a bunch of different assistant and head coaches, and they helped me put this team together, because I really wanted to win my last match. But anyway, I'm going to start off with my Gallade. As she starts with her Sableye, I go immediately into Walter to take any kind of Will-O-Wisp powder. She just goes for Fake Out, revealing to me that she is probably her Fake Out Foul Play set with Will-O-Wisp and Recover. And I'm going to just set up my Sun on the switch and go for Solar Beam to get massive early damage on the Alomomola for basically no repercussions, because she ends up going for Toxic. And this is fantastic because I can switch out to get rid of the Toxic. I know she's going to go for Protect just to keep all like stally pressure on, just to keep whittling me down, and I'm like, you know what, no, you can't whittle down my Walter. I'm gonna go into Metal Mummy here and completely start shutting down her stall, because she comes in, goes for Protect, and I'm thinking, okay, if she brings in the Sableye now, what is the move I don't mind getting bounced back, because I don't want to reveal my set yet. I figured Toxic. I don't mind Toxic getting bounced back, because I could always just Aromatherapy with her own move with Snatch later, which she actually goes into Venus, which is perfect, because now I could go for Snatch, because I think she's going to go for Aromatherapy, and I get to Aromatherapy my own team. This is fantastic. So now my Typhlosion's poison is gone, and she is Toxic. So I have just completely locked down her Florges now. If she wants to go for Moonblast, that's absolutely fine. I'm specially defensive. I'm designed to take the hits for quite a while, and I could just keep snatching her moves, so I could take her Aromatherapy, I could take her Wish, I could take Synthesis. Anything she wants to try and go for, I can take from her. And it's just fantastic. It's working out so well, so early in the battle. She's going to pull back, go into Goober. And here I kind of make a mistake in my thinking process. Like, I did good here. I did good right now, going into Zapdos so I can get off a Defog. But I don't do well in my switch, because I'm going to go for Defog as she just gets off damage with Lava Plume. What I should have done, instead of Volt switching into Gallade, which is what I'm about to do, I should have Volt switched into my Typhlosion so I could get off the Earthquake. Because the sooner I can get off the Earthquake, the better. And I go into Gallade just so, because my thought process is get off the Mega, but I really should have went into Typhlosion, so my thought process would be get in before Rocks. And I don't know what I was... Typhlosion would have been the best option, but this wasn't a bad option? I don't know. I just go for a substitute, revealing the substitute, but not revealing Swords Dance. So that way I could go for a knockoff and just like test damage and stuff like that. And it does absolutely nothing to that Sableye, so I know it's full on physically defensive. There's no question about me pulling back. The foul play is pretty obvious here. I'm going to go into Metal Mummy. Hopefully I can take the hit. And I do take the hit very, very, very well. And this is great, because now her ability is Mummy! I got rid of Magic Bounce without even having to use Skill Swap. This is great! I'm like, alright, I'm taking advantage of this offensive momentum. I'm gonna go for Toxic Spikes. And this might not have been a good idea. I might have been way too hasty in this, because I make a pretty big mistake here. She goes for Lava Plume and ends up burning me. I end up going for Skill Swap so that way I can get her Flash Fire, so that way she can't go for Lava Plumes anymore. But that was a pretty big... I was rushing it. That was a big mistake, and I was rushing it. And this mentality kind of led to me killing off my Cofagrigus. I really should have switched out when that Heatran came in, because Cofagrigus is not handled to suit that, or is not suited to handle that Heatran. I ended up going for Toxic because I was predicting the switch, but she just stays in, reveals the Flash Cannon, and KOs my Cofagrigus. But now I feel like going into Walter and going for the EQ, it's going to Revenge Killer, and down goes Heatran, so that's pretty cool, but I've lost my Toxic Spikes before I could Defog. Huh. So I need a Defog to get rid of her hazards, but there's nothing I can do right now. Yeah, she goes into Durant. I know it's going to outspeed me because I'm not... Because, it naturally outspeeds me anyway, but I'm not invested to be speedy. I'm just invested to outspeed maybe a Jolly Gligar and get off damage with, like, Modest Nature. So I'm going to go into Registeel here. I can't go into Zapdos yet because if she is offensive, then Zapdos isn't going to have enough HP to take the hits, and she's just going to go for Sub and Baton Pass, holy crap, into her Mega Sableye, which really sucks. Now, and yeah, it's just I'm going to skip this part because there's a fast forward part right here that is just pure stall. It's like stall incarnate, so I don't want to poison you guys with that. Ironic that the Mega Sableye is poison, but the basic thing that happens is she burns me. I'm trying to make sure she doesn't get out of this field without damage, and she just pulls a bunch of switches into like Alomomola and into her Durant. And what happens, or what ends up happening, is once she brings in her Durant and I get to a low enough HP, I know that she's just trying to stall me out to get rid of my Registeel, and I go into Zapdos, so that way I can, you know, she's made it apparent she's not a fully physically offensive Durant, so I feel safe coming in even with Stealth Rocks and being able to go for a Roost. So, not worried there, and I can keep my Registeel for fodder later. It's all good. The Durant is not a threat to my Zapdos. As you can see, the Iron Head did absolutely nothing, and since she went for Iron Head, she really has nothing for my Zapdos. I'm pretty much safe to just keep going for like Volt Switches and stuff here. She Baton passes another Sub out to her Florges, which is really annoying. But, you know, it's the best play that she could have done. I mean, she could have gone into Mega Sableye, but there's no way that my Volt Switch wouldn't break her Sub. But with this way, the Volt Switch probably won't break her Sub. And, yeah, that's really all I have to say about that. So, there's no question, she's still Toxic Poison right now, and since my Toxic Spikes are gone, there's no question that she's going to want Aromatherapy. So I've got a free switch going in for Volt Switch into my Braviary. And as soon as I can break that Sub, I can do some damage to it, and I need to be worried about how much damage I'm doing. But first and foremost, I need to get damage. So I end up going for Return. I have like Brave Bird, Return, U-Turn, and Roost on this thing. Just because I want to get off big damage. I don't want to have too many recoil moves. I want to have some Switch Initiative, and I want some HP recovery in case she goes for Protect. I take the Moonblast, not great, it's a 2-hit KO, but I figure she can't afford to stay in and take too many hits. I go for Roost just to see what she's going to do. She goes into her Fart, and I don't want to take any more residual on this. She's just going for Fake Out just to wear me down little by little, and I'm like, no, you can't wear me down little by little. I'm going to go into my Zapdos, and on the predicted Fake Out, it does absolutely nothing. And I'm free to go for a Volt Switch to get off a little more damage. As soon as I drop her HP just a little more, Braviary can start doing some work. So seeing this, I'm going to go into Walter. I made a really gutsy play here, predicting her to go for Will-O-Wisp instead of Foul Play. I thought for sure she'd go for Will-O-Wisp just to get status on my Zapdos, but no, I made a misprediction there. She just went for the safe Foul Play. Walter goes down, unfortunately. And I do get a free switch into Braviary, so that's nice. I go for a Brave Bird, and holy crap, look how much damage it does to that Alomomola! That is a freaking physically defensive Alomomola. Look how much it does to it! Holy crap! It's at that point I realized she probably has some special attack investment just to break my Gallade Subs, if I decide to go for Sub. And just, wow, I go for, just really quick, you might have been worried there. I went for a Roost predicting her to go for Protect, but she just decides to go for Scald to try and get the burn. Thankfully, she does not get the burn, and I'm able to go for Protects and Brave Burst to try and knock her out. I know she's going to pull back here. I predict her to switch into Mega Sableye since I went for Return, but no, she actually goes for into her Quagsire, and this is fantastic. I can knock out this Quagsire with the Brave Bird Return strategy I had before, and this is great. Gonna go for Brave Bird, gonna go for Return, down goes the Quagsire. It's gone, it's dead. I don't have to deal with it anymore. Although this also means that my Hidden Power Grass on Zapdos is kind of useless now, but that's fine. He goes into his Durant, or she goes into her Durant. I have no problem going just directly back into Zapdos and going for a Volt Switch because this thing has absolute booty special defense. I mean, I found out earlier that she actually does have, she either has some HP or some special defense investment to take my neutral HP grounds, but, you know, other than that, it just can't take my hits. So I'm going to pull back, get a full switch out into my Falcon Punch. And I'm in the same position I was before with this thing. I'm just going to go for Roost. She's going to go for Moonblast, hopefully, and we're going to see how that works. She actually goes for Toxic, which puts my Braviary on a timer, which is awful. But I expected her to go for Moonblast, and it's at this point I realized, hey, if she goes for Moonblast, she could get the special attack drop, and I can get my Defiant boost, and I could sweep through her entire team. This is great. Please go for Moonblast. She doesn't go for Moonblast. So, this time I'm not going to take any chance. I just go for Return, and I'm not going to fall for the same trick twice. I know you could just go for, like, Knockoff or Scald just for damage. I'm like, nah, Alamomola, I'm not going to fall for that again. I'm going to just switch. I go into my Zapdos here, because even if she does burn me, I do not care. She actually goes for the Wish, which I kind of should have stayed in here. Because if I did, then, Yeah, she went for the Wish. I could have just knocked her out, and this Wish might be a problem for me because she goes into Fart as I go for the Volt Switch, and it's just not gonna do a lot. I mean, I'm not gonna do enough to knock her out, and Falcon Punch, there's no way it's gonna be able to knock out the Sableye from this range. So ultimately, I have to just switch out because I can't take the Fake Out chip damage along with Toxic damage. And Zapdos really is pulling in his work here, and just there's so many switches going on right now, it's unbelievable. And my mind is going 1,000 miles per hour just trying to make sure I can survive this match. So I really, really wanted to win this match. I Volt Switch out, going to Registeel, because now is pretty much the best time for fodder, because I can get a free switch into Braviary, and at that amount of HP, I'm pretty sure I can knock out the Sableye with just a Brave Bird. And with 102 HP, I think I could take the recoil, so I'm feeling pretty good about this. I go for the Brave Bird, and it does not knock out. Crud. I should have gone for like a U-turn. I should have gone for a U-turn there. If I went for the U-turn, I think U-turn and Volt Switch might have been able to knock him out. But it's really unfortunate. I'm able to go into Galley now, go for the knockoff, and knock out the Mega Sableye. But now I have to deal with this thing, which I have nothing to hit it. And another mistake here, I probably shouldn't have gone for Substitute. I went for Substitute because I was trying to calc how much a Moonblast would do. And I needed to make a move before then. And I should have went for Substitute. I shouldn't have went for Substitute. I should have pulled an immediate switch into Zapdos, because before there was a chance I could take a Moonblast, but now there's no chance since I'm about 50 HP and it does a minimum of like 68 to 75. But here you know what? She's been doing so much stall during this match. It's my turn to stall, so gonna speed this up. There's a chance I could still win here if I can stall her out of her Moonblasts with my pressure, because she's already got like she only needs to do 6 more. If there was 10, there's no way I could have won. But only 6 more Moonblasts, I could definitely do it by just resetting my Toxic turns on a predicted Synthesis or something. And I feel good. I feel good. I feel like I can still do this. I feel like I could win. But unfortunately, the timer runs out. So yeah, that was the end of the battle. You guys might have noticed that there's 2 versions of the battle up. It's because I'm not going to make you sit through an hour-long video, especially for my last EXPNU battle. So, I mean, this isn't much better, being like almost 20 minutes, but still, I hope you enjoyed the battle. I'm sorry it took so long. There was just so much stall. And we ended the EXPNU battle in a tie. So, yeah. This is our first league experience, and my impressions, difficult. Very difficult. I didn't go in with as much prep plan for my draft as I thought I should have, and I probably should have gone over it better. But that's it for the Mauville Munchlaxes for this season, guys. I hope you all enjoyed these battles. If you did, be sure to give EXPNU a big thumbs up on their own channel. They've got plenty of content still coming. They've got a PU league. They've got a doubles league. It just big stuff's happening, and I would really check out their channels. So again, hope you all enjoyed the videos, and I will see you all next time. Bye.